On this week's show, private equity firms are looking at Peloton, and the company previously tried to acquire Hydrow.
Plus, Jess Sims is back again with the Sims 60, a new strength series with Ben Aldis, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 176 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by Peloton community. I am Amanda Siegel, and I'm joined by my co-host, John Pruitt. Hey, John.
Hey, Amanda. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. Well, first off, we got to wish you a big happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, my friend. Did you have a lovely day?
Jam-packed day. Did, an excessive amount of Peloton workouts.
Oh, what about the shout-outs?
Received an excessive amount of birthday shout-outs, and it was all worth it. So,
it was worth it, right?
It was a great Pelo birthday.
Oh, that's amazing. I know. I got to tell you, if it all lines up and you get those, and you're smart now, not now, but you realize that you have to change your tag so that your age shows up there, right?
That's the thing. So last year, I don't show usually my gender and my age just only because it takes up additional space in that location field. So if you put something in there, it'll get, want to have enough space, it'll get cut off. So last year I didn't do that. And I don't think I really got any birthday shout outs. So this year I decided, maybe that's it. And so I showed my gender, age, and all of a sudden everybody saw it. So
everybody saw it. It was very sweet. It was very, very sweet to see. Like Krista was like, oh, you have a birthday. I was like, people do have birthdays. But they were so lovely. And of course, poor Ross. Oh God, he butchered it. He butchered it. I'll have to have a word with him. And that'll
probably be the last shout out I ever receive before he departs. So
you'll have to put that in the vault.
Woe is me.
You'll have to put that one in the vault because that was very cute. And
at least Robin Arzon, she got it right. So
she did. And
can't complain.
And Alex did a good job too.
Alex, he's been doing it. He's been saying the leaderboard name right for a while now. So he's good. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, it was tons of fun. And I got to walk with Maddie with you, and that was fun. So that walk and talk. Yeah, you must have been pooped by the time you had your Benihana on on Wednesday night.
On Wednesday night, yeah. I was a little tired out.
Well, I'm sure. Well, happy birthday from us here at Pelo Buddy. And
happy birthday to your husband, Mark, as well.
Thank you.
Shares my birthday.
I love it. I love that the two Tauruses in my life, the other man in my life. All right, folks. Well, we do have a ton to talk about. So before we get started with the news, we always like to just remind you how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button at the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button so that you never miss an episode.
Yes, and of course, you can always listen to us on the go. We're on all podcast platforms if you want to just listen to the audio, so find us there and leave us those 5-star reviews. We do really appreciate the feedback, and we'd love to read them on the show from time to time, so we do greatly appreciate that, and keep them coming.
Yeah, and finally, of course, we are on all social media platforms, so Facebook, Instagram, X, just search for Pelo Buddy and follow us on those platforms for all of the latest news. Now let's get on with the show.
Right.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
All right. Well, kicking it off, it looks like multiple private equity firms are reportedly considering an acquisition of Peloton, with at least one firm having already held formal discussions about taking the company private. These discussions have recently intensified following the restructuring plan announced by Peloton last week, which, as we shared with you last week, included laying off about 400 employees and, of course, the departure of CEO Barry McCarthy. These changes aimed at reducing operating expenses have made Peloton definitely a more attractive acquisition target. Additionally, Peloton's stock rose about 20% in pre-market trading following these reports. The company is also addressing a significant amount of debt that is approaching maturity, with efforts underway to refinance it. So this financial maneuvering comes as Peloton has just reported achieving free cash flow positivity for the first time in 13 quarters. It's pretty significant. Despite these developments, Peloton's spokesperson has declined to comment on the speculation. Yeah. So this potential buyout could mark a significant shift for Peloton, especially after public challenges and operational shifts aimed at stabilizing the business. So lots to definitely keep our eye, out for. Not sure what that will ultimately mean for us as a community, for the instructors, for the organization as a whole. I guess time will tell. What are your thoughts?
I was looking, there was quite a reaction to that story when Chris posted it on the social channels, and the resounding majority seems to say that private equity is the worst thing that could happen for Peloton. I saw a lot of mentions that private equity is a destroyer of businesses, and if you look at a lot of them, previous buyouts, like in the skincare company with Rodan and Fields. With Beauty Counter recently, if you follow that. I don't know why, I was walking the dog with Jackie yesterday and we were talking about that. And she was like, why is it private equity such do they just go in and just pick the bones and drive it into the ground? But everybody, I didn't see one comment about this is a good thing. So most folks seem to all be in agreement for once on a polarizing story like this.
Interesting.
I would much rather, personally, see Apple or Amazon do some sort of acquisition or merger.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I know I had said Lululemon. I didn't know whether they're big enough or they're able to take that under their wing.
And someone said, I don't think they might have enough. They might not have the cash. They might want to take on all that debt. So it's a lot of moving parts involved, obviously. Well, an interesting tidbit that came out in the news last week, Amanda, on Thursday, it was reported by CNBC that Hydrow is acquiring Speed Fitness. And this move comes as gym goers, obviously move away from cardio exercises in favor of weights. The interesting part of that report, though, was CNBC spoke with Hydrow. They covered a number of topics. And while Hydrow was giving the reporter some background and history on the company, it came to light that Peloton had actually tried to acquire Hydrow a number of years ago, but Hydrow had declined. The acquisition attempt, obviously, it came before Peloton released their own rower. Hydrow gave the following context regarding the acquisition attempt. They said Peloton tried to acquire Hydrow rather than build its own rowing machine, but the company declined, told NBC. CNBC tried to reach Peloton for comment. They didn't receive a response. Presumably, had Peloton acquired Hydrow, they would have probably re-released the Hydrow rower as their own, rebranded Peloton Row and sold those instead. So there's just kind of an interesting little fact that came out with that.
Very interesting. I wonder. I can't remember.
We had no idea about.
Yeah. And I can't remember back in the day if we had said we wonder why or we wonder if. So it's interesting if that came out. That came out recently. Very interesting.
And I was for all that time when we were like, when are we going to get a rower? I was very keen on looking at the Hydrow because it looked like a really nice piece of hardware. And at the time, Howard Stern's wife, Beth, was gushing over how much she loved the Hydrow and the instructors. And while he was on the Peloton, she was crazy about Hydrow.
But as far as I know, Hydrow is just a rower, right? There's no additional... that kind of like tonal. It's just the strength. There's really no additional.
I don't think there's any other modalities besides rowing, as far as I know.
Got it. All right. Interesting. Well, moving on, Peloton is introducing a new feature which has caused a lot of controversy, allowing users to find friends on the platform by real name and through contact syncing, which uses phone numbers and email addresses. So this update will enable users to search for friends by either their leaderboard name or their real name, enhancing the connectivity within the Peloton community. So the contact syncing feature will suggest Peloton users as friends if their contact details are saved in your phone through this function. It does require an explicit permission to access content information. Additionally, Peloton's privacy settings have been updated to give users control over their discoverability through these new features. But users can opt out by adjusting their privacy settings to hide their real names or prevent their contact details from being used for friend suggestions. And I guess this is where the controversy has kind of sparked. Folks should say we should be opting in to do this and not necessarily opting out. So it has not been released to everybody at this point. I believe that it is kind of coming out slowly, but that is something that you guys do want to make sure that you are in fact opted out if you choose not to be found. Basically, the changes aim really just to make it easier for users to connect and stay engaged with the community. And as we know, that is what Peloton wants us to do. They want us to kind of build this community, get to find friends. And sometimes it really is hard. If you do want to try and find a friend on the leaderboard, it's hard if you don't know their leaderboard name, right?
If you don't know the exact characters, if there's an underscore,
absolutely. And they really make it difficult because, now even if you just put a few letters in, there are just so many people. A million
different results pop up. Yeah.
Exactly. So, they, as I said, they've set these features to opt out, meaning that the real names and contact details will be discoverable by default unless you change those privacy settings. So, a lot of chatter was going on back and forth about that. A lot of opinions about that. For sure.
People unhappy about, negative. I could care. For me personally,
me
it's not. I'm not going to
care less.
Turn that. I'm not. I've never had a private profile. If somebody wants to look at my stats, have at it.
Go for it. If you've got that much time in your hand that you want to go and see everything, then absolutely. I have no problem with it. And I can find a way.
When Chris Lewis posted that story, I just immediately thought about a couple celebrities that I've been dying to know what their leaderboard names are. So I'm curious just to enter in their name when that feature becomes available. I'm just curious to see if they come up. So
correct.
It'd be interesting to see.
Right.
Yeah. Oh. Well, during Peloton's recent earnings call, interim CEO Chris Bruzzo dropped an intriguing hint about a potential upcoming feature. Virtual coaching. So Bruzzo was asked by an investor, does anything stand out in particular in terms of what you are most excited about in the go-to-market initiatives? In response, he said, paraphrasing a little bit, what's happening in the product organization around software innovation is pretty exciting. There is so much room to get greater and greater personalization in the experience for our members, things like virtual coaching, getting them to the right workouts, for them, lots of opportunity there. So in other words, he specifically mentioned that virtual coaching as this promising avenue for innovation as it relates to software, though it wasn't clear what that would be in the form of with the Peloton app. I'm thinking that, and Chris Lewis is also in agreement, it's more like a chat box answering questions, suggestion classes. So it's not an actual live, virtual instructor on the other end.
Interesting. Yeah. That actually could be kind of cool too. Is it maybe you sign up for a session, maybe you pay an additional fee to one of the instructors, and they can get, I don't know. I mean, I guess there just would never be enough time. They'd be busy all the time.
They would get so booked up.
As I'm saying it, it would just, it's not even,
that would be cool to have that little personal interaction.
Wouldn't that be so cool? That would be very cool.
Just stick with the DMs.
I guess so. I guess that just would not work. That would not work. Well, last week we had shared with you that Jess Sims had an announcement, but unfortunately at the time of recording, we did not know exactly. We speculated. We said that we assumed that Saturday 60 was coming back, et cetera, et cetera. Well, we have the news for you, and of course we'll share it. So her popular Saturday 60s has had a rebranding and a scheduling change. And it is now being moved to Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Therefore, it will need a new name because clearly we can't call it Saturday 60s. So it is now going to be known as Sims 60s. And they will be live broadcasts. They'll start today. So today, the 12th of May at 2 p.m. will be her first one. Her next one will be the 26th. And then we know that there's one on June 9th as well. So this change allows for more flexible scheduling post-football and basketball seasons for Jess, now that she is kind of on a little bit of a hiatus. The Sims 60 classes will, of course, continue to be that 60-minute tread bootcamp. And Jess is looking at adapting the class format over time to find the optimal setup. So it currently features 10-minute intervals, but she is talking about looking at changing that format. Right now, it kind of draws on her background of like team sports and, it aims to evoke pride and nostalgia amongst participants. So we're curious to see kind of what that new dynamic will look like. But everybody I know, certainly the Jess Sims folks are really excited about that.
Really? Are they really excited? Because I don't know. I feel like the crowd kind of went mild on this news.
Really?
I mean,
interesting. Okay, you would know more than I.
People are happy that it's back live, but I think there's disappointment with it being moved from Saturday to Sunday. It's just,
John, I've learned in this community, you just can't make people happy. It's you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't.
I mean,
everyone
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here because
look,
feel
Jackie's a big Jess Sims fan, so she must be disappointed.
She used to be on the Saturday 6. I think she's just gotten so intimidated by it. She just doesn't do it anymore because, I mean, it's been a while since she did a Saturday 60. But I don't know. I feel, and I might get some heat for this, but I just feel like for Jess Sims, she has so many outside endeavors. And good for her. God bless her for all these, hosting gigs that she has with ESPN and with New York Liberty or the New York Nets. But it just kind of feels like Peloton has been kind of secondary. Like she's trying to fit all that around the Peloton schedule where she should really be filling all those outside positions around her Peloton stuff. So it's just, I mean, it is what it is. It's just my personal opinion, but
yeah, no, I hear you. So I got to hang out with her last Saturday. I had gone to watch the absolutely incredible Jess Malone, as we all know her as Mess, run her first marathon. And Jess Sims and Jess Malone are best friends, and Jess Sims came out to DC to hang with her for the weekend and kind of be her cheering squad alongside myself, her parents. And my good friend Tracy McCann, Atomic Blonde One, and her partner Bob, we went and cheered her on. So I tried to get the info from Jess, and of course she goes, "Well, do Saturday 60, and you'll get to see what it is."
Yeah,
and I'm like,
you'll know.
I'm like, all right, well, it's happening now, and I'm here at the marathon. She was very quiet, but yeah, I don't work out with Jess often. Just not for any reason other than there are only so many hours in a day, and there's certain instructors that you tend to draw yourself more towards. I hear she's fantastic, but I saw a very toned down Jess on Saturday. She just wasn't, and again, I don't know her well.
But I feel like she has so much. I don't know how she
so much on her
has
plate.
The energy. I feel like she's so stretched thin, and if she can handle and juggle all those different things.
Yeah.
More power to her. But
she's a devoted, and I got to tell you something, she is a devoted mom to those two pups. I mean, her life is pretty, as you say, is pretty full, and she's got 2 pretty hectic dogs that she
pretty
takes
high
care
energy
of.
dogs, yeah.
Having spent the day, having spent a couple hours with them down at the canal, I got
Sienna
to see
Grace
that.
and
well,
I don't know the other
I'm
one.
such Shiloh, and of course
Shiloh,
I'm such an idiot. I said something about, oh my God, the girls are so cute. She goes, that's a boy, and I'm like seriously, Amanda, like you should know this stuff. Like you should know this stuff. I was so embarrassed. But anyway, as you're right, she definitely has a full lot on her plate. So we'll see. I think. She did go ahead alongside the class rebranding, bring out this new line, her Sims 60 apparel, because there had been a Saturday 60 sweatsuit, right, that had been out there previously. So it's been re-released, including cool-down hoodies and sweatpants, which are available now in a garden green and a cinder brown. The items are available for purchase on the Peloton website. And I was actually really interested to see if they had sold out quickly, and they were still available, certainly at time of recording. So, I thought, because I know that the Saturday 60 stuff just went, nobody could get it. So whether they released more of it now, of this particular branding or not. But again, just to reiterate for folks, the update only, refreshes the class identity, but also label. Expands her, Jess Sims branding within the Peloton.
Sims 60 doesn't quite roll off the tongue like Saturday 60. I mean, maybe Sunday 60. Sunday 60 would have sounded better, but
well, I guess they wanted to make sure if they wanted to change the date again, or the day again,
they flipped the script on us again.
Exactly.
Well, excuse me. Keeping with a little on the topic of Jess Sims, we have a Floor Bootcamp 2 coming out. So there was a recent from the May workout to watch email. It states, starting May 15th, take your strength and cardio to the next level with Jess and Selena's new 4-week Floor Bootcamp program. Combine cardio intervals on the mat with free weights to make you stronger and increase your aerobic endurance. So just right around the corner next week.
Nice. And then Ben Alldis, he has launched what they're now calling a new class series called The Stronger You. Now, as our strength folks know, Ben has his Stronger You and his Stronger You 2 program, which is a 4-week strength program that he developed. But this new series, which began on May 6th, so just last week, offers a mix of full body strength and HIIT cardio workouts in a condensed 20-minute format. It's basically been designed for efficient and effective training. The classes are scheduled to be available live on Sundays, also at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So that does actually conflict with Jess's. So they start again today, the 12th, and there will be one on the 26th and June 9th as well. Each class targets different areas such as lower body, upper body, and core, including a HIIT cardio segment for a all-over comprehensive workout. So unlike the previous program that I mentioned to you, The Stronger You, this series is rather than a program, it's meaning that the classes will be available kind of in an a la carte on the on-demand library, rather than being part of the structured multi-week program. The change does allow greater flexibility for users to incorporate these intense sessions into their schedules kind of as needed.
All right. Well, we got a new yin yoga class series with Peloton instructor Kirra Michel. It's called Creating Space. It's going to take place every Tuesday this May in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month. The official description for the class in the series is join Kirra in this yin yang yoga class where we'll combine real conversations with deep stretching. We'll open up and create space in the body, mind, and with each other. And the classes are 20 minutes every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can find the first Creating Space class that was held on May 7th, and which was taught solo by Kirra now in the on-demand library. And the remaining 3 classes in the series will feature special guests Dennis Morton, Kirsten Ferguson, and your favorite Maddie Majacomo.
So John, I'm not sure if I'm getting so confused here. I'm not sure if you did it. I don't assume you did because you're not a big yoga person. I did do Kirra's first class. I got to tell you, I think it was one of the best. I think it's one of the best classes that has been launched on this platform. She was incredible. It's just easy. You should really do it. If you just want to kind of zone out for 20 minutes and get to hear the vulnerability of Kirra and what she has to offer and learn more about her as a person, as an instructor, kind of what got her there. I was moved almost to tears by doing it. She shared so much just about her mental health, about, where she is today, how she kind of got to this point of offering something like that was truly amazing. And it's really just stretching. I mean, you really are stretching, intense stretching in the class. So it's nothing like, crazy yoga moves that she's doing kind of on the floor. I'm really looking forward to seeing them being done as this 2-for-1 though, because her on her own, I reached out to her afterwards and I said, Kirra, I got to tell you, I have, I knew you were amazing, but I have this newfound respect for you because she truly was just so vulnerable in it. So yeah, maybe something you and Jackie could do together because I really think that it was.
I hate to admit, I don't think I've ever done a single class with Kirra.
Well, this is your opportunity.
One instructor I've never taken.
I'm telling you, John, do it. You'll thank me next week. I promise you. It was pretty, and maybe do it with Jackie. It's just something really nice to hear. We all struggle with some form of mental health, don't we? And dealing with society and fitting in and doing stuff. And she just shares how she's tries to overcome that. And she works really hard at that. So I thought it was pretty impressive. It was really, really amazing. Well, talking about mental health, Peloton has released a 20 million challenge and some 2-for-1 classes too. So this challenge that they have released is basically an opportunity for members between 12:30 p.m. on May 17th to 12:30 p.m. on May 18th. In this 24-hour challenge, they are trying to reach 20 million minutes of collective movement. Folks can take any class to help hit that mark. And when they kind of do reach that point, Peloton will honor the dedication to impact Project Healthy Minds. So there is a 2-for-1 30-minute walk plus run with Adrian Williams and Alex Toussaint. And the comments that were flying on social media with that was like, that screen is going to be on fire. It is on Saturday, so this coming Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And that will be a walk plus run challenge that they're doing. There is also going to be a ride, 30-minute ride with Tunde and Camilla, and that'll be at noon on Saturday. So those are the two classes that they're kind of putting out there. But what a wonderful way of the community to all come together, within that specific time frame. So kind of Saturday, Friday afternoon through Saturday afternoon, I believe is kind of the time frame when they're wanting folks to pitch in and do their part. So maybe
I'm loving all the dual instructor classes lately.
I am
on the row, even though I haven't done them because they've been at 6 a.m. A lot of them. Yeah. But no, I love how they're giving us, so many on the different modalities with the 2-for-1.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this week at Peloton. So in an Instagram post covering the May 6th through 12th range, got a few upcoming things to go over. So first, Peloton's introducing a new category of country music rides, which I think we might have mentioned previously, with the Rising Country classes. So they consist of curated playlists featuring the latest, greatest stars of the country music scene. The first class already took place live on May 6th with Alldis. That's on demand currently. And next, there are some numerous new mobility classes that'll be released straight to the on-demand library. They were already put out on May 7th. Classes are available in English with Maddie, and in German with Eric Jaeger and Irene Kamer. And in addition, Peloton's also releasing new mobility classes every Tuesday throughout the remainder of the month. And then the latest installment of Peloton's ongoing collaboration with Defective Records just took place this past Friday, May 10th at 1:30 in the afternoon. We got a 30-minute ride that Hannah Frankson led. And then finally, since today is Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day, Amanda.
I know, I didn't even think that I could speak record before.
Yeah.
Wishing you happy birthday and happy Mother's Day to all those moms.
I'm just glad I didn't have to share my day this year with the Mother's Day on Sundays.
Exactly. Mark feels the same way.
Yes. So today, May 12th, marks Mother's Day in the United States, and Peloton is celebrating with some special content that began last Wednesday, May 8th. They are being offered in all three of their teaching languages, English, Spanish, and German. And there's going to even be a special 2-for-1 ride with Robin and Jess that happened yesterday, Saturday, May 11th. All of the new classes are going to be placed in the dedicated Mother's Day collection, so you can easily find them there, which contain classes that date back to 2021.
Nice. Yeah. I know I'm going to talk a little bit about that later too. But so Peloton is also celebrating Asian and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. It falls in this month of May, and they are doing, again, another special series of classes which feature music and themes reflective of Asian and Pacific Islander cultures. The classes are categorized into 4 themes. So there's New Asia, Classical, Desi hits, and Pacific Islander vibes, showcasing a diverse range of music from pop and K-pop to Bollywood and beyond. The series includes a variety of workout formats. There are runs, rides, yoga flows, and more. There'll be a 30-minute hit run with Hannah Frankson. There's a 20-minute New Asia lane break ride as well. The other classes are all on demand. You can go ahead and take a look and see what has been available. Participants for these classes will receive a badge, an APIHM celebration badge, and it is the part of Peloton's broader effort to honor the contributions and heritage of Asian and Pacific communities through fitness. With that being said, I do want to, now that it is past, want to thank Peloton for putting out the Jewish American Heritage Month collection. There was Maddie Walk on Tuesday. It was Jen's Ride. And then, of course, there was also Anna Greenberg had her yoga flow and her meditation. It's interesting, though, because I didn't know what to kind of expect. But it was actually what they did. Well, certainly what Jen did was really focus on musicians that, are of Jewish heritage.
Had Jewish background.
Yeah. I just from a personal note, I loved Maddie's walk. I loved how he respects the community. His joy of being part of the Jewish community and what he's had to talks about having just attended a bar mitzvah the night before, and there was just a little bit more warmth to Maddie's walk than I found on Jen's Ride. I found Jen's Ride to be...
I love Jen's Ride. Because I loved the music.
Yeah.
It was a great... Because I didn't know what to expect.
I didn't know what to expect either.
And I love the fact that she kicked it off with like this kind of obscure Beastie Boys song. So I thought that was great because you don't really hear the Beastie Boys a lot on the platform.
Right.
So I just thought, the playlist was fantastic.
Yeah. And then Anna took it to a completely different tone. But all of them were great classes. But interestingly enough, there wasn't a badge. And I think that there were members, and that was kind of why I brought it up, was because, there has been a badge for the Asian.
And you think that there would be a very obvious badge?
There would be a very obvious badge.
You would get the Star of David.
The Star of David. And I am surprised. look, clearly we're dealing with a lot of controversy at the moment, but this was nothing about that. This was purely, and they made it very non-political. This was purely celebrating Jewish American, Heritage Month and Jews in America. So I was disappointed, and I did want to share that. I was disappointed that there wasn't a badge because I thought that was a fail on Peloton's part. But
can't make everyone happy, Amanda, right?
Can't make everybody happy. Yes.
Try. Well, going back to switching over to Father's Day, we have some German Father's Day classes in a post, I guess the Pelo German social media channel posted recently, celebrate all the father figures in your life with Charlotte and Tobias Hines in the brand new Father's Day classes that came out on Thursday, May 9th. I guess it's Father's Day.
It was, which I found
over there celebrated.
It was celebrated, yes, and it was celebrated on a Thursday, which I thought was so interesting.
Not on the weekend.
Not on the weekend, yeah.
Yeah, so we have, both are in German. We have a 20-minute Father's Day run with Tobias Hines, and then we have a 20-minute Father's Day ride with Charlotte Wiedenbach that are out there on demand. I looked them up to see if by any chance we got English subtitles.
No.
When I checked it, we didn't. There was German subtitles, but yeah, nothing in English. I did see something. I don't know if you saw it on the official Peloton member page, but it turned out to be a hilarious onslaught of comments because someone posted pictures. They were taking a Charlotte class in German that had English subtitles. And some of the English subtitles that they posted screenshots of were so funny and random and probably nothing to what she was, that was not the translation, but it was just so funny with the comments. If you search for that post on the OPMP,
look at that.
It brought a lot of laughs.
I remember Jeffrey sharing that with me and saying, because I said to him, I said, it's so frustrating that we don't have subtitles. And he said, unfortunately, the translation doesn't always.
Technology,
it's just not there, I guess, and it doesn't
understand the German vernacular.
Correct.
To translate
and he said, and that's one of the biggest reasons why they haven't.
You need the human touch.
Correct. They would have to go back in and fix, all of that in order to produce it. So that was one of the reasons why. And now that makes sense by you sharing that it came up. But again, that's so funny. Well, as John mentioned, of course, we know that today is Mother's Day in North America and Australia. And Peloton did, in fact, go ahead and release some new classes. Some of them John mentioned, but we also have a 30-minute yoga flow from Chelsea, which dropped today, a 30-minute run with Bex, as well as a 30-minute row. So Bex got to do both a run and a row in celebration of Mother's Day. Matt Wolpers had a 15-minute row. And then lastly, our friend Maddie Majacomo has a 30-minute walk with some very special moms in the room. His own mom, Alldis, came down to be in the class, as well as one of his two sisters. He said he had hoped that he could have had both, but his other sister lives out west. So that was a little bit difficult. But he had a really special walk, which again was today. And then on Wednesday, Peloton launched 3 live Spanish Mother's Day classes for Para las Madres. Camilla had a 30-minute walk. Rad did a 20-minute full body straight class. And Mariana did a beautiful 30-minute yoga flow. So lots of celebration for the moms out there. And of course, as a mom, I do want to wish all the listeners and viewers a very, very happy Mother's Day. I know that today tends to be hard for some folks, who have lost moms, who are trying to become moms. But we are a community that stands behind everybody. So happy Mother's Day.
Well, we got our next artist series, which features K-pop sensation Blackpink. It happened last Thursday, May 9th. It includes 6 classes across 5 modalities, including one in Spanish, and they all occurred live with the exception of one premiere. But what we got now, and they should all be in the library, a 30-minute Blackpink ride with Camilla, which was the Spanish one, 30-minute full body strength Maddie, a 30-minute yoga flow with a DT, a 30-minute ride with Allie, a 30-minute run with Olivia, and a 20-minute row with Katie Wong. And this is Peloton's second official Blackpink artist series. There was a dedicated series back in 2021 that included a ride, a hit cardio, and yoga.
What kind of music is it? I haven't done any of the classes. Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
K-pop is K-pop Korean?
Korean pop? Is that what it is?
Is that what the K stands for?
It may be. It may be. I wasn't sure. I should have looked it up before because I wasn't familiar with it. So
if I heard it, I'd probably say, "Oh, that's."
I remember
that's
it.
Blackpink.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Because I'm sure I've heard it in a class.
Got it. All right. Well, Peloton New York announced two exciting new rides with instructors Matt Wilpers and pro cyclist Christian van der Velde. Scheduled for June 1st through the 3rd, Matt Wilpers will lead a 2-hour cycling class, which he has done before, and he said he will not do these very often, but the next one is coming up on June 1st, continuing his series of 120-minute Power Zone endurance rides. It will be available at a new time at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. This is differing from his previous early morning schedule. So I believe he did them at 7. Yeah. So this is helpful, certainly for those West Coasters that would like to be on live and get to, ride with Matt. Christian will also be returning to teach, and he actually has 3 classes over the same weekend. So his sessions are scheduled for June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, each beginning with a 45-minute ride designed to challenge members with rigorous cycling workouts. The classes do mark an important addition to the Peloton Canada, catering to both endurance enthusiasts and fans of professional cycling folks like Christian. The sessions will be live, but also, of course, will drop on demand so that other members can take those.
Cool. Well, Peloton and the New York Roadrunners are going to be hosting a ShakeOut run in advance of the RBC Brooklyn Half Marathon, and it's going to feature Matt Wilpers and Marcel Dinkins. It's called the Peloton and NYRR Brooklyn Half Shakeout Run. It's going down on May 17th at 10 a.m. at the Brooklyn Bridge Park, Pier 2. The official description says, join your favorite Peloton instructors as we kick off the Shakeout Run with an uplifting motivational welcome, 5-minute warm-up. Be sure to stick around after the run for a 10-minute post-run stretch, crafting your own cheer signs, snacks, and chance to meet your run coach. It's a ticketed event. It is sold out, so if you didn't get a ticket for it, you're out of luck at this point. But it was $35 to do it, and the check-in begins promptly 9:45 a.m. And it's going to be led by Marcel and Matt from the Brooklyn Bridge Park Pier 2, and
nice,
just around the corner.
Meanwhile, in London, members can join our boy John Husking, and Livable Fitness Club legend Steve McManaman. I knew I was going to butcher that name. McManaman. I am so sorry, Steve. I knew I was going to butcher it. I practiced it really hard, and I still screwed it up. But he is better known to many as Macca, so we'll call him Macca. It is for a fun outdoor walk on Wednesday the 15th at 6 p.m. in celebration of Mental Health Awareness Week. So folks may not know, but John is very involved in all aspects of specifically male mental health and bringing awareness to it. We had mentioned a couple of weeks ago, he was on the NAMI podcast, and he contributes a lot to a organization called Calm in the UK. The space, they did say, was limited also, and folks did need to RSVP for this walk. At the time of recording, though, there were still spaces available. Folks can head over to the Peloton events page to sign up. The walk will be approximately 2.3 miles or 3.7 kilometers in distance, and is expected to last about 45 to 60 minutes. And it is, I know for many folks, I'm not sure if folks are aware, but John is actually off the platform for the next couple of weeks with a busted ankle. So his live classes have been canceled. So at least he is going to be able, so for those folks that need their husky fix and are in the UK, definitely take advantage of this ability to go at least walking with him. But there is no running for John until he gets that ankle back to its full strength. So
Dang. Well, Peloton is hosting a virtual community event with Camilla Ramon and Adrian Williams on Wednesday, May 15th, in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month. They sent an email to some members inviting them to register. I actually received an email invite for this, which was nice. But the event description reads, join Camilla and Adrian as they share about their journeys with self-care, mental resilience, and overall mental wellness. Moderating the conversation, we have mental health expert Dr. David P. Rivera from Peloton's longstanding mental health partner, the Steve Fund. There's a new event website, which we have on pelobuddy.com in the article that's written up on this, available with more information and registration form. It's taking place, like I said, Wednesday, May 15th from 2 to 2:45 p.m. Eastern time in the afternoon. And you have to register for the event if you want to receive the event link. But it also contains a form to submit your leaderboard name, as well as any questions that you might have for Camilla and Adrian. And then book event. We have a Robin Arzon book event. Peloton's hosting a book party event in honor of Robin's re-release of her first book entitled Shut Up and Run, How to Get Up, Lace Up, and Sweat with Swagger. The event is taking place on May 16th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Peloton retail store in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. We also have the event website linked on pelobuddy.com. Event is free to attend, and I checked when the other day, and they have different time slots that you could sign up for. Some were already grayed out, but there were some time slots available as of last Wednesday. And the nice thing is everyone who attends will receive a free copy of Robin's book.
Well, moving to some corporate news, Peloton has appointed a new Senior Vice President and Head of Investor Relations, James Marsh. James joined the company in March. He comes with extensive experience from previous roles at Endeavor, Lionsgate, and as Managing Director of Piper Jaffray. His arrival coincides with significant changes at Peloton, including, as we have said previously, the departure of Uncle Barry and the layoff of employees. He succeeds Peter Stabler, who left Peloton to join Dropbox after a 4-year tenure. In his new role, James will be responsible for shaping Peloton's investor communications, building relationships with investors and analysts, and offering insights into market trends and investor sentiments. The appointment is part of a series of high-level personnel changes for Peloton, really just aimed at steering the company through these current challenges and looking at some of these future opportunities. So kind of interesting, kind of coinciding with this potential, going private. Will be interesting to see where this goes. So, yeah.
Shout out to we at CNY who made the comment on Chris Lewis's Pelo Buddy Instagram post regarding this new head of IR, who he rocks a nice looking mustache, but this person said that stash is going to help turn my stock from a heaping pile back up to 150.
Right.
I got a kick out of that, so I just
threw that in.
Threw that in there. Yeah, that's my contribution to the story. You're welcome.
Too funny. Thank you.
All right. Well, in the midst of the continuous restructuring with the CEO transition and the layoff of 400 employees, Peloton has made sure to highlight that they still plan to invest in hardware and customer support. In a shareholder letter addressing the layoffs, the company reiterated its dedication to delivering the best fitness experience. They said, we will continue to invest in innovation across our software, the hardware, content portfolio, and improvements to our member support experience to meet the needs of our current and future members. Because I know, myself included, when you see massive cuts like this, layoffs, what's going to go downhill. And that's, the customer service, the member support. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but time will tell.
So,
but, they wanted to, to reiterate that to kind of, I guess, calm the masses a bit.
Exactly. This was, you took the words out of my mouth. Yeah. All right. Well, we haven't seen a lawsuit filing for a while, but this one's interesting because this one's flipping the script here a little bit. Peloton has filed a complaint against Flexport with the Federal Maritime Commission, claiming that Flexport's inadequate handling of its U.S. imports resulted in millions of dollars in unfair detention and demurrage, they call it D&D charges, from 2020 to 2023. So the complaint outlines that Flexport consistently failed to meet its transportation obligations, including delays in removing containers from terminals, delivering them to inland locations, and returning.
So we're talking about maritime shipment overseas on cargo ships.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So it was interesting. So I guess Peloton were kind of slapped with all these, fees, and they're in turn going back to Flexport and saying, hang on a second, we're suing you for this. It forced Peloton, the situation actually had forced Peloton to hire a third-party logistics provider to manage the inland transportation of certain containers. The ongoing charges and damages are still being calculated, at the time of filing. The case is part of a broader trend of disputes filed through the FMC following the 2022 Ocean Shipping Reform Act, which aims to address issues like D&D charges. So, again, I mean, this is a great way of us kind of narrowing it down to what were all these additional expenses that Peloton had that kind of drew them down to this, really significant. And yeah, I mean, COVID impacted, it adds up, and COVID's clearly had such an impact on big businesses, like this.
Well, yeah, even shipment. I remember at some point during quarantine or COVID, they were shipping container ships out in Long Beach, California, just sitting idle in the ocean because they couldn't come into port.
Right.
So they had this huge backup of shipments, from Asia, from Japan, from China, from all over, that were just sitting there that they couldn't deliver all these goods. And then we had all these shortages.
Correct. And I guess we saw, Peloton were massively impacted by it. Hardware just couldn't get delivered. So that makes sense. So we'll see where that goes, and we'll keep you guys updated.
That was prime time. If you were selling your bike on Facebook Marketplace, right? you were getting that juicy premium because people were bending over, paying
exactly
30% on top of the regular price.
Now you can't give them away.
now it's oh god, I know. Now you can really get a bargain deal. Anyway, we've got a new apparel drop that just happened on Thursday with Lululemon. Several Lululemon pieces. I don't know if you checked any of them out, Amanda, but we got a Razorback, a lot of different women's, not too many men's, but there was a Razorback tank, a high-rise women's short, a half-zip hoodie, a line dress, some sports bras, a high-rise short, a lot of neutral tones, a lot of whites and grays on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out. I didn't actually take a look. Pieces. I didn't take a look. I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, some men's hoodie. There's a license to train hoodie.
Nice.
Lululemon prices. I know.
I know.
You definitely got to get a code.
Yeah,
I don't want to pay I don't want to pay out of pocket for these prices.
The Lululemon car, it's a lot. It's a lot. So,
but it's nice. I mean, you get what you pay for.
Well, that comes right off the tail of that massive fire sale that they had. I mean, I don't even know I can't remember if we spoke about it last week or not. It's over now. But I mean, it was like giving stuff away, like $19.99, $9.99 for stuff. I did take a look, and then I was like, it's enough. So I didn't buy anything on the sale, but there was a massive sale. So if you were looking, it almost depresses me to go and look because I paid full price for some of the stuff, and I'm like, oh God, it's like giving it away now.
I gotta say, I'm all about Vuori.
Oh,
right
nice.
Now.
Okay.
I love that. That line. Their shorts, their trainer pants, their hoodie shirts. So yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see where Peloton
really
apparel tends to go. All right, stuck with the purge this week, but it's not too bad. So another Peloton, cleaning house happened on May the 3rd. It only removed 6 classes from the on-demand library, and unlike previous weeks, this purge actually did not follow the sequential daily pattern typically that we see, where specific days from December 2020 were targeted. This time, the purge. It did not continue. December 24th would have been the next day that we would have expected. The nature of this week's purge suggested that it was really just a cleanup, addressing classes from days previously targeted, or it just randomly jumped ahead to remove classes from a much later date. The shift, we think, indicates a potential change in how Peloton is managing its library maintenance, moving away from the more predictable pattern seen in recent months. To just kind of random classes that they're pulling from the on-demand library. So that's what happened in the purge this week.
Well, we had one instructor birthday. Happy birthday to Susie Chan. She had her birthday this past Friday.
Yes, happy birthday, Susie.
And let's get right into instructors in the news. And the first one is, in case you didn't see it on social media, she shared several pictures, but Hannah Corbin was at the Met Gala recently, this past week, performing as a backup dancer in one of the musical acts with Ariana Grande. And she even posted like this really cute, this was kind of like a selfie with her, like hugging, embracing her backstage.
Yeah. She was. I mean, she really was prime. I mean, she was right next to her in the dance move, in the dance choreography that
she wasn't like in the shadow.
Right? That you had to kind of, you knew that was Hannah, you knew that was Hannah Marie Corbin. Yeah. I mean, you absolutely knew that was her. So I guess this was her first debut back on the stage, as she had shared with us previously that she was going to, she was going to be there. All right. Well, those who needed some motivation this month, just to be consistent in something every day, there is something for you. So Maddie had launched his own little challenge for folks that follow him, which was a core challenge. It was, as I said, a self-induced core challenge, having members be accountable for doing at least a 10-minute core class every day for the month of May. He provided a great screenshot that came from a really special Peloton member, Kelly. Her leaderboard name is Kelly with a Plan, and she put together a really nice story that you can use each time you want to post. And Maddie had encouraged folks to tag him, tag the Magic Makers, and hashtag core every day. Then you can check off each day that you complete the challenge. I will tell you, I took the challenge. I've been taking the challenge, and I'm really pleased. I very rarely do core workouts, and I have been doing one every day for 10 minutes. My stomach is
that thing.
sore.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I have stomach spasms when I do those core.
There is no question that my abs have been on fire, especially when you're doing it every day. So that's been really cool, and we thank Maddie for that. And on the subject of Maddie, he was on a new podcast this week called Untopic, Off Script, chatting with Brian Mastrononi about ways one can embrace new fitness and wellness habits as spring approaches. So it kind of tied in nicely with this core challenge that he was offering folks. He gives suggestions for how one can get into the mindset needed to start something new, as well as sharing his own story on how he transitioned from a career in TV news to a Peloton instructor. It's a fun, easy to listen podcast. And I mean, who doesn't love to hear Maddie chatting away? So a really fun podcast.
Thanks. Well, Adrian Williams was recently at the Lululemon Leadership Summit. He posted on Instagram, there wasn't a whole lot of substance to his post. He just basically said #Lululemon, #Lululemon ambassador. I don't know if he partook in a panel or anything, but he just posted a selfie in the mirror and a couple quick video shots from the crowd. I guess there was some sort of performance on the stage at one point. So
maybe we'll hear more. Yeah, maybe we'll hear more about that later. All right, good. Well, Alex Toussaint was on the Something Went Wrong podcast, where Vinny, I'm going to just totally butcher these names, Guadagnino, maybe. Well, anyway, Vinny chatted to Alex about fitness, chasing dreams, and his best cheat meal food, which you'll have to go and listen to the podcast if you want to hear what that is. But of course, Alex shared the launch of his second launch of his shoes, his cycling shoes. He did say that he is the first athlete trainer to release a cycling shoe. And he did present Vinny with a pair of his beautiful Puma Alex Toussaint cycling bling, which was really cool.
They are really sharp looking. The silver.
I have to confess,
really pops.
I got a pair.
I'm really tempted. I'm really tempted, but I love my OG Peloton whites. You know, the classic Peloton white shoes.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, I did get a pair. I was only able to, I got a size bigger than I should have, but they're actually okay. I tend to find that the Peloton tend to be a little tight over my toe, kind of the toes, and I would sometimes
they're pretty true to size, the Peloton ones.
Yeah, so these, I got a size bigger. They're a little bit big, but they definitely, I don't feel that cramping. Now, the secret is I have the shoes. Now I have to get back on the bike, because I am still very, very resistant to getting on the bike. And I just got to figure out how to get motivated to get back on. I mean, I did Jen's ride this past week and a couple here and there, but I got to get it together and get back on that bike each week.
Get on that 30-minute 80s ride that you just did this past Friday.
That's what I should maybe do.
I think it'll be to your liking.
Exactly.
Well, Tunde was just yesterday, May 11th. She was a panelist on the Mary J. Blige conference, which was held at a venue called Glass House in New York City. But Tunde had posted earlier in the week on social media to join her on May 11th for the third annual Mary J. Blige and Pepsi Strength of a Woman Summit. She's excited to be taking part of it. I guess it was something that you could attend. There was a link for any attendees, so I'm sure we'll have some more to report on that in the coming week.
Nice. And then we got to see Mariana. She was out on the road with Coach Roberto, together with the New York Roadrunners. They gave folks a sneak peek at the RBC Brooklyn Half Marathon course, which falls this coming weekend, May the 18th, with some fun and important tips to make sure that you have a fun and easy race. So they kind of sped up some of the course, obviously, but they kind of gave you up to that first mile mark and then to the 5 mile mark, and kind of walked you through the different spots that you'd be going on if you were going to be doing the half marathon, the Brooklyn Half, this weekend. So, or next weekend, I should say. Yeah.
And some of the German coaches recently did a little charity run at Battersea Park in London. Eric Yeager, Jeffrey McEachern, and Tobias Hines posted, they said, we didn't just do something for a good cause because of the WFL World Run today. We also spent Sunday together and 20 kilometers. Hashtag Bronson Tour.
And I guess that sums up the instructor in the news. Why don't you go ahead and kick off the class picks of the week?
Alrighty, let me scroll down here. First up, Rebecca Kennedy's 20-minute standing core strength for May 2nd. Alldis Liz submitted this one. She said it has it all: weights, squats, balancing. And then Dennis's 15-minute groove ride, also for May 2nd. Just Dance Lisa submitted this one. She said just a good fun class from Dennis. And then John Husking's 45-minute hike from May 2nd. Katie Nelb said this was more challenging than I would have expected.
To confer with that, I got a massive PB in that hike, and it was definitely one of his most challenging classes on the platform, for sure. All right, next up, we had Cody Rigsby's 30-minute pop ride from the 2nd, 5:30 p.m. This one came to us from Aries Dawn G and Allinger Debbie. They said great class and playlist. And then this one is from me too. All right, Mariana's, we spoke about it last week. It's got to get all the love this week in the picks of the week. Her 90-minute 2010s run from the 2nd. It was at 6:30 p.m. And I was in good company because our very own Pelo Buddy, Chris, had recommended this one, Tunda Holmes and Dr. Devon. Great playlist, expertly coached. The first 30 minutes and last 30 minutes flew by. She is an amazing storyteller, and I oohed and ahed over it last week. It truly was one of the most incredible classes that I've taken. I was pretty impressed that I was able to get through it. And then Hannah Frankson's 30-minute Desi Hits run from the 3rd. This one came to us from Born to Bhangra and Jamie 4682. They said the music was awesome and Hannah is truly a joy. And it was a very exciting class for me, and I did get to do it because my daughter was in the class live in London. It was one of the last classes that she did before she left. So that was really fun to see Nicole in the class. She goes, Mom, it was so hard because it was a hit run. But yeah, huge shout out to Hannah, and thank you for taking care of my baby girl. So that was awesome.
All right, next up, Chelsea Jackson's Roberts 30-minute focus flow for May 4th. Armor Jar 3 said, my back and whole body felt great after this class. Kendall's 20-minute climb ride for May 5th, submitted by Highlights. They said, good solid climb. And then Kirsten Ferguson's 60-minute intervals run from May 5th. M's 127 said, her first 60-minute run, and she crushed it.
Nice. All right, Cliff Dwenger, his 30-minute gloriously gospel ride. It was in German. This one dropped on the 5th, and it came to us from Beiki Kevel. Such a great class. Highly, highly recommend. Live gospel again. And then Ben's 20-minute The Stronger You that we chatted about in the show. This one was from the 6th. It came to us from Daisy Mack, Amajar 3, and Just Dance Lisa. They said great complete workout and great playlist, perfectly balanced design. And then Christine Derkley's 45-minute climb, the Palomar Mountain. This was part 2, which dropped on the 6th. This one came to us from Chrissy C, and they said this climb was nuts in the best possible way.
All right, Alex Toussaint's 45-minute hip-hop ride from May 6th. Sammer 412 said it's a hidden Drake versus Kendrick ride, and it's so hard. And then Jermaine Johnson's 10-minute arms and shoulder strength from May 7th. Nina 182 said, my first time taking JJ. I love my normal strength coaches, but JJ was funny and made time to go by so fast with a great playlist too. Loved this call and will love this class, obviously, and will definitely take him more. And then Maddie Majakmo's 20-minute Jewish Heritage Walk from May 7th. Rachel Spins 24 said, huge thanks to Maddie. Such a great ally.
Fantastic. And then Rachel also gave us Jen Sherman's 30-minute Jewish American Heritage Ride, which was also on the 7th. Again, huge thanks to Jen, too, for this beautiful ride. Anna Greenberg's 20-minute Pacific Islander Vibes Yoga Flow. This one was also from the 7th. It came to us from Amajah 3. And they said the vibes were indeed great and loved all the diving cobras. And lastly, absolutely, Michel's 20-minute creating space from the 7th. I spoke about it earlier, but this one did come to us from midwife Lexi, Kirra's koalas, and me. And as I said, I mean, this is what they said, a great yin practice coupled with Kirra's incredible vulnerability will certainly help you work out the issues in your tissues physically and emotionally. And again, I reiterate, if you don't have to be a yogi to do it. You absolutely do not have to be a yogi to do it. It is purely just intensified stretching and just Kirra's beautiful vulnerability. So definitely don't miss out on that one. And I guess that wraps up our picks of the week, John, and our show. So yeah, a lot. We gave you a lot of information this week, but hopefully, as always, it provided you with that little quick refresh of what was happening in the week of Peloton after last week's tumultuous news of Barry McCarthy leaving. We still found space for tons to happen this week. So thank you for tuning in, for listening. And so for me, actually down in Miami for the weekend, celebrating my husband's birthday. Bye for now, everybody.
And for me here in Michigan, once again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, especially to my mom, Cynthia, in New Jersey.
Who listens to the show every week, right? Listen,
of course, yeah. Who's on the bike every day. And obviously my wife, Jackie, too. Appreciate you both and all the moms out there as well. So thank you. And you, of course, Amanda, all the moms. So appreciate you tuning in, watching and listening. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.